If you're thinking about buying an infrared device for neuropathy, stop for a second. Because if you get this wrong, you're not just wasting money, you're wasting months on something that was never going to work in the first place. Here's the truth. Most infrared devices look like they should work, but they don't. In this video, I'm breaking down the 4 critical things that actually determine whether an infrared device will support real nerve repair or just end up being another expensive disappointment. And whatever you do, don't miss the 4th one. This is where most people get it wrong and choose the wrong device. Welcome back, Health Warriors. Dr. C here. In the last video, we talked about why so many infrared devices fail to help with peripheral neuropathy. So now the question becomes, how do you choose a device that actually delivers enough usable infrared energy to support real nerve repair so you're not wasting your time and money? And that's exactly what we're going to break down in this video. Starting with factor number 1, wavelength. The very first thing you need to look at is wavelength, because if the light doesn't reach the nerve, nothing else matters. Most red light devices operate between 630 to 660 nanometers. That's great for surface level skin issues, but peripheral nerves sit deeper in the tissue. Surface red lights simply can't reach them effectively. That's where infrared comes in. Infrared light in that 800 to 900 nanometer range is known as the therapeutic window. This is where light penetrates tissue much better and actually reaches the nerves. In clinical studies, the sweet spot is usually somewhere between 810, 830, or 850 nanometers. These wavelengths interact directly with the mitochondria in the cells through an enzyme called the cytochrome C oxidase. This boosts cellular energy and helps trigger nerve repair. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Even with the right wavelength, real-world factors like darker skin tone, body fat, muscle density, or even lotions on the skin can steal a lot of that energy before it reaches the nerves. If you start at the lower end around 810 nanometers and lose energy along the way, you can easily drop below the therapeutic level your nerves actually need. That's exactly why we favor the 850 nanometers. It gives you a deeper penetration margin to compensate for those variables and still deliver usable energy where it counts. This one factor alone filters out a huge number of devices that look impressive but won't actually support nerve repair. All right, on to factor number 2, power. This is where most infrared devices quietly fail. You can have the perfect wavelength, but if the device doesn't deliver enough actual power to the nerves, it simply won't work. Power is measured in 2 ways. Milliwatts tells you how fast the energy is being delivered, kind of like how fast water flows from a faucet. Joules, on the other hand, tells you the total energy delivered over time, or how much water ends up in the bucket. Just like water can be lost before it reaches the bucket, infrared energy gets scattered and absorbed before it reaches the deeper nerves. Here's the problem most people miss. Many devices advertise impressive milliwatt numbers, but those measurements are usually taken right at the surface of the device, not at the skin, and definitely not at the depth where the nerves actually sit. So the device looks powerful on paper, but might fall short where it counts. That's why you need to ask the manufacturer 3 questions. Number 1, are your power numbers measured at the device surface or at the skin during actual treatment? Number 2, how far from the skin are those measurements taken, and what power actually reaches the skin at your recommended distance? And number 3, what is the total energy delivered in joules or joules per centimeter squared to the tissue over the full recommended treatment session, not just the peak output? If you want a PDF with these questions and what the expected response should be, email us and we'll be happy to send it to you. Now, here's something important to watch for. A lot of companies will push back on that 3rd question and say something like, it's incorrect to measure it in joules. The correct way is only in milliwatts. That's usually a dodge tactic. In real photobiomodulation research, Both numbers matter. Milliwatt shows intensity, but joules show the actual therapeutic dose your nerves receive over time. Now, companies that refuse to give you total joules often haven't done the proper and more expensive testing, or they know the total delivered energy is too low. If they dodge this one, treat it as a big red flag. Now, let's say you get the wavelength right, and you have enough real power reaching the nerves. There's still one more critical piece that can quietly limit results, and that's factor number 3, LED composition, the hidden detail most people miss. LED composition is one of the most overlooked aspects of infrared therapy devices, and it's often what separates devices that actually deliver results from those that don't. The LEDs are the individual light producing diodes that generate and deliver the infrared energy. Even if two devices advertise the exact same wavelength and power output on paper, big differences in LED quality can mean one works dramatically better than the other for nerve repair. Here's what actually matters. First, the beam angle. This tells you how tightly focused or spread out the light is coming from each diode. Most cheap devices use wide beam angles, anywhere from 90 to 120 degrees. That spreads the light out over a bigger area, but the intensity drops off quickly with distance. Higher quality devices often use narrower beam angles, typically in the 30 to 60 degree range. This concentrates the energy better, helping maintain stronger power density deeper into the tissue where the nerves are. Look for manufacturers who actually disclose the beam angle and, even better, show irradiance or power density in milliwatts per centimeter square at the recommended treatment distance. Okay, the second thing that matters is power density consistency. This is real-world irradiance. How many milliwatts per centimeter square actually reach the skin evenly across the entire treatment area. Cheap LEDs often create hot spots directly in front of the diode and weak spots in between. That means uneven dosing. Some parts of your nerves get good dose while other parts get almost nothing. Premium manufacturers test and publish irradiance charts showing consistent output across the whole pad or panel, not just peak numbers in the center. And the third thing that matters is overall LED stability and quality. High-grade LEDs maintain stable output over the full treatment session and over the life of the device. Lower quality ones can drift, overheat, or lose power quickly, which means you're not getting the consistent energy the nerves need for repair. That's exactly why you want to look for companies that clearly disclose detailed specifications instead of hiding behind vague marketing claims. Higher quality manufacturers will tell you things like exact peak wavelengths, beam angles, power density at skin contact or at specific distances, pulsating capabilities, and third-party testing data. Lower quality ones will say things like deep healing, medical strength, or powerful LEDs without any real numbers. Bottom line, if a company can't clearly explain or demonstrate how their LEDs deliver consistent, high-quality infrared energy into the tissue, treat that as a major red flag. This is where most people get burned. They buy based on headline specs and end up with a device that looks impressive but underdelivers where it counts. Okay, now finally, factor number 4, which is delivery. How the infrared energy actually reaches the nerves. Even with the right wavelength, solid power, and high-quality LEDs, you can still get poor results if the device doesn't deliver the energy effectively into the tissue. This is where a lot of infrared devices for neuropathy fall short. First, the size and the coverage of the device matter a lot. Peripheral neuropathy usually affects larger areas, feet, legs, or hands, not just one small spot. That's why I strongly recommend pad-style or wraparound infrared therapy devices over the small handheld wands for most people. Handheld wands work well for localized injuries or trigger points, but not for widespread nerve issues. Broad coverage pads or boots give you much better, more consistent treatment across the entire nerve pathways. Second, direct skin contact is critical. The further the device sits from your skin, the more infrared energy is lost before it reaches the nerves. Look for flexible pads or wraps designed for full skin contact, and always treat on clean, dry skin, no lotions, creams, or oils, because they can actually block or scatter the light. Third, treatment time and session length. Many cheap devices only run for 5 or 10-minute cycles, which often isn't enough for nerve stimulation and support. Peripheral nerves need sustained stimulation to boost cellular energy and repair. We recommend at least a 20-minute treatment session for best results for neuropathy. One powerful upgrade I strongly recommend is pulsed light technology. Most basic devices only deliver continuous steady light. Over time, your cells can get used to it and the response weakens, kind of like tuning out constant background noise. Pulsed infrared light rapidly turns the signal on and off. This helps prevent adaptation and can create a stronger therapeutic response for nerve repair and pain relief in peripheral neuropathy. Many clinical protocols use specific rates like 10 Hz or 40 Hz for better outcomes. Here's the bottom line. Choose a device engineered for real-world neuropathy treatment. That means broad coverage, direct skin contact, sufficient session time, and light pulsating capabilities. This is what turns good specs on paper into actual results on nerves. Now, let me save you from the biggest mistakes people make when buying infrared devices for neuropathy. First, avoid extremely cheap devices with zero transparency. If a company won't clearly tell you the exact wavelength, power density, beam angle, pulsating specs, or LED quality, walk away. Also, avoid vague marketing claims like deep healing, medical strength, or powerful infrared, which usually means they're hiding behind weak performance. Second, avoid devices that get hot. A good infrared therapy device should deliver light energy deep into the tissue, not just heat up your skin. Excessive heat is a red flag. It usually means poor energy delivery into the tissue. Hotter does not mean better. The bottom line, stick with medical grade systems that are transparent about their specs and engineered for consistent, deep penetration. These are the ones built for real nerve repair, not just surface level warming. Health warriors, hopefully this video has empowered you to make a much smarter decision when choosing an infrared device for peripheral neuropathy. Because here's the reality. True nerve repair takes time, consistency, and the right healing environment. Infrared therapy is not magic. It's not something you use for a few minutes and suddenly reverse decades of nerve damage overnight. But when it's done correctly, with the right device and proper use, it can become a powerful tool for supporting nerve repair, even in challenging cases. And if you're still trying to decide which device to choose, we've taken a lot of the guesswork out for you. Every device we carry has been carefully vetted using the exact same 4 criteria we just covered. You absolutely don't have to buy from us. We just wanted to make sure you had a trusted option specifically designed for peripheral neuropathy and real nerve repair. If this video helped bring some clarity to what you've been struggling with, please share it with someone else who may need to hear this. There are still so many people out there trying to figure this out on their own. And if you want more guidance like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. This simple act helps our video reach more people. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our science-backed information for nerve repair and peripheral neuropathy recovery. I look forward to seeing you on the road to great nerve health.